let's dive into understanding the basics of sourcing. When we talk about sourcing, we're essentially talking about finding and selecting suppliers or materials for your business needs. It's like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're uncovering the best deals and partnerships that can help boost your company's success. First things first, let's define what sourcing actually means. In its simplest form, it involves identifying potential vendors or suppliers who provide goods or services to meet your business requirements. This could range from raw materials for manufacturing to finished products, or even hiring talent for a workforce. The goal is to find the most suitable option that fits within your budget and aligns with your quality standards. Now, why is sourcing important? Well, it directly impacts your bottom line. High-quality suppliers can significantly reduce costs over time by offering better pricing or more efficient delivery schedules. Additionally, strong supplier relationships can lead to innovative solutions and long-term partnerships, which are invaluable for any business looking to stay competitive in the market. When you start the sourcing process, there's a few key steps to follow. First, define your needs clearly. What exactly do you require from this supplier? Is it raw materials, finished goods, or specialized services? Knowing this upfront will help narrow down your search and ensure that you're not wasting time on irrelevant options. Next up is researching potential suppliers. This can involve looking at industry directories, attending trade shows, or even leveraging online platforms like Alibaba.com to find a variety of suppliers from around the world. Once you have a list, it's important to evaluate each option based on factors such as quality, reliability, delivery times, and pricing. After that comes negotiation. It's all about striking a deal that benefits both parties. Think about what concessions or special terms might be acceptable for your supplier and communicate these clearly to reach an agreement that works well for you. Lastly, establishing the relationship is crucial. Make sure you have a solid contract in place with clear terms and conditions, and maintain regular communication with your supplier to ensure everything runs smoothly. In conclusion, understanding the basics of sourcing can really help streamline your procurement process and build strong partnerships. By clearly defining your needs, researching thoroughly, negotiating effectively, and nurturing relationships, you'll be well on your way to securing high-quality supplies that meet your business requirements. All right, everyone, let's dive into our next topic, the importance of supplier relationships. Now you might be wondering why this is such a big deal. Well, imagine your supplier relationships like building blocks for your business success. It's not just about getting the goods or services. It's about forming strong partnerships that can benefit both sides in more ways than one. First off, let's talk about reliability. A dependable supplier means you don't have to worry about stockouts or delays, which is crucial especially if you're dealing with high-ticket items or products that are hard to replace. When your customers trust you for a consistent supply of quality goods, they are more likely to stick around. Next up, cost savings. By nurturing strong relationships with your suppliers, you can often negotiate better prices or terms. It's kind of like being part of an exclusive club where everyone helps each other out. Plus, these partnerships might lead to bulk discounts or early access to new products, giving you a competitive edge. Then there's the importance of innovation. Suppliers who are closely aligned with your business goals can offer insights and solutions that could help you stay ahead in the market. For example, if you're in tech, having a supplier that's on top of emerging trends means you can be first to market with cutting-edge products. But it doesn't stop there. Supplier relationships also play a key role in risk management. By diversifying your supplier base and maintaining strong ties with multiple vendors, you reduce the impact of any single point of failure. This is especially important during times of supply chain disruptions or natural disasters, when having backup options can make all the difference. Now, let's not forget about the nitty-gritty stuff like compliance and quality assurance. A trusted supplier partnership means fewer headaches when it comes to meeting regulatory requirements and ensuring product quality standards. It's a win-win situation where you both benefit from working together towards these common goals. So, in conclusion, strong supplier relationships are more than just transactional. They are strategic alliances that can drive your business success. By focusing on building trust, reliability, innovation, and resilience with your suppliers, you're setting yourself up for long-term growth and prosperity. All right, let's dive into identifying procurement needs, an essential step for any organization aiming to optimize its purchasing processes and ensure it gets what it needs without overspending. First things first, understanding your organization's requirements is key. Start by assessing the current inventory levels, usage patterns, and any upcoming projects or expansions that might necessitate additional resources. This helps you determine which items are critical to operations and which ones can be sourced on demand. Next up, consider the financial implications of procurement decisions. High-ticket items require careful planning due to their significant cost impact. Look into budget constraints, existing contracts, and potential for bulk purchasing discounts or long-term agreements that could save money over time. Then comes supplier research. It's important to identify reliable suppliers who can meet your quality standards and delivery timelines. This might involve reaching out to industry contacts, attending trade shows, or leveraging digital platforms like LinkedIn to connect with vendors directly. Make sure you gather information about their reputation, pricing, and service offerings before making a decision. Don't forget about the nitty-gritty details such as lead times, minimum order quantities, and payment terms, which can affect cash flow and operational efficiency. Understanding these factors upfront will help streamline your procurement process and reduce potential headaches down the line. Finally, keep an eye on market trends and technological advancements that might influence future procurement needs. For example, if you're in a tech-driven sector, staying ahead of the curve could mean investing in emerging technologies now to stay competitive later. To sum up, identifying procurement needs involves thorough analysis of your organization's requirements, financial considerations, supplier research, and attention to detail regarding logistical aspects. By taking these steps, you can ensure that your procurement strategy is well-rounded and effective, ultimately supporting smooth operations and growth for your business. That's it for now. Happy procuring. All right, today we're diving into developing a procurement plan. This is crucial for any business looking to manage its purchasing process effectively and efficiently. So let's start by understanding what a procurement plan actually is. It's essentially your roadmap for acquiring goods or services that your company needs. First up, identifying the requirements. You need to know exactly what you're buying and why. For instance, if it's high-ticket items like machinery or equipment, make sure you have all the specifications ready. Next step, budgeting. Allocate funds based on the importance of the procurement and any potential financial impact for your business. Now, let's talk about sourcing suppliers. It's not just about finding someone to sell you something, it's about building relationships with reliable partners. Research thoroughly, considering factors like quality, delivery times, and pricing. Don't forget to evaluate their reputation in the market too. Once you've got a short list of potential suppliers, you'll need to negotiate contracts. This involves discussing terms such as payment schedules, warranties, and service agreements. It's important here to be clear about your needs and ensure that everything aligns with your business goals. Another key part is managing risks. Think about what could go wrong and how to mitigate those risks. For example, if you're dealing with international suppliers, consider issues like currency fluctuations or shipping delays. Lastly, don't forget the procurement process itself. From placing orders to receiving goods, everything should run smoothly. Establish clear procedures for tracking deliveries, handling discrepancies, and resolving any issues that may arise. So there you have it, a solid foundation for developing your procurement plan. Remember, this isn't just about buying stuff. It's about strategic planning, building partnerships, and ensuring your business runs efficiently. All right, everyone. Welcome back to our session on supplier assessment. Today, we're diving into qualitative assessment methods for suppliers. Now, you might be wondering why this is important. Well, quantitative data tells us numbers and figures, but qualitative assessments give us that deeper insight into the nitty-gritty details of a supplier's capabilities. Let's start by understanding what qualitative assessment means in this context. It involves evaluating suppliers based on non-numerical factors such as their reputation, reliability, expertise, and overall performance quality. These aren't things you can measure with just numbers, they require a bit more thought and observation. So how do we go about conducting these assessments? First up is the supplier audit. This means visiting or reviewing the operations of your potential suppliers to get a first-hand look at their processes and facilities. It's like taking a tour behind the scenes to see if everything aligns with your expectations and quality standards. Next, we have customer feedback surveys. Gathering input from current customers about their experiences can provide valuable insights into how well a supplier performs in real-world scenarios. This helps you understand not just what they do, but also how effectively they do it. Another method is the review of documentation. Suppliers usually have extensive records detailing compliance with regulations, certifications, and other important criteria. Reviewing these documents allows you to assess their adherence to standards from a paper trail perspective. Then there's the supplier questionnaire or interview process. Here, suppliers are asked detailed questions about their operations, expertise, and any special capabilities they might possess. It's like having an open conversation to uncover strengths and potential areas for improvement. Another important aspect is evaluating supplier performance metrics over time. By tracking key performance indicators consistently, you can see trends in quality, delivery times, and other critical factors that indicate reliability and consistency. Lastly, don't forget about the importance of feedback from your own team members who work closely with suppliers day to day. Their first-hand experiences provide a practical perspective on how well each supplier performs under real conditions. Now, these qualitative assessment methods are all aimed at giving you a comprehensive view of potential or existing suppliers beyond just the numbers game. Remember, choosing the right supplier is crucial for your business success and longevity. So there you have it, some key qualitative assessment methods to consider when evaluating suppliers. By combining these approaches, you'll be better equipped to make informed decisions that benefit your company in both the short and long term. Thanks for joining me today. Today, we're diving into the world of quantitative metrics for evaluating performance. These numbers don't lie, and they give us clear insight into how well our processes or teams are doing. Let's start by understanding what exactly these metrics measure. First up is productivity, which tells you how much work gets done over a period of time. It could be measured in units produced per hour or tasks completed each day. This helps identify whether your team is meeting expected output levels. Next, let's talk about efficiency, which measures how well resources are being used to complete the task at hand. For instance, if you're using less material to create a product without compromising quality, that shows high efficiency. We can use ratios like input-output ratio or labor productivity to gauge this. Quality is another crucial metric. It ensures that what we produce meets certain standards of excellence. Think about defect rates or customer satisfaction scores here. Lower defects and higher satisfaction indicate better quality performance. Cost-effectiveness is also key, especially in high-ticket items where every dollar counts. This looks at how much it costs to achieve a desired outcome versus alternatives. A cost-benefit analysis can help determine if the investment is worthwhile. Now let's not forget about time management. How quickly are tasks being completed? Are there any delays or bottlenecks holding you back? Metrics like cycle time and lead time can help pinpoint areas for improvement here. Lastly, we have return on investment, which measures the profitability of your efforts. It shows how much profit was generated relative to the amount invested. High ROI means good performance. To sum up, These quantitative metrics provide a clear picture of what's working well and where improvements are needed. By focusing on productivity, efficiency, quality, cost-effectiveness, time management, and return on investment, you'll be able to evaluate performance accurately and make informed decisions moving forward. All right, let's dive into understanding the key elements of a supplier agreement because these documents form the backbone of our business relationships with vendors and suppliers. So, we'll start by looking at some basic terms that you definitely need to include in your agreements. First off, there are the parties involved. This is who you're doing business with. It's crucial to clearly identify all relevant parties so there's no confusion down the line. Next up is scope of supply, which specifies exactly what products or services the supplier will provide us. This needs to be detailed and specific to avoid misunderstandings. Then we have pricing terms, which outline how much you're paying for the goods or services. It's important here to include any discounts, payment schedules, late fees, or other financial arrangements so everyone knows what they're getting into upfront. Delivery requirements are another key component. This section details when and where the supplier will deliver the products or services. Be sure to specify delivery dates, quantities, and locations clearly. Quality standards also need to be spelled out in detail. What quality levels do you expect from your suppliers? Are there any certifications or compliance standards that must be met? Next comes the term of the agreement. How long is this relationship expected to last? Is it for a specific period or open-ended? Make sure both parties are clear on this. Then we have warranties and liabilities. What happens if something goes wrong? Does the supplier stand behind their products or services with guarantees? Are there any liability clauses that protect your business from potential lawsuits? Dispute resolution is another important element to consider. How will disagreements be resolved between you and your supplier? Is it through mediation, arbitration, or court action? Lastly, don't forget about termination clauses. Under what circumstances can either party end the agreement early? Include notice periods, conditions for termination, and any obligations that remain after termination. So, in summary, when drafting a supplier agreement, make sure to cover all these bases. Identify parties clearly, specify scope of supply, outline pricing terms, detail delivery requirements, set quality standards, define term length, include warranties and liabilities, establish dispute resolution procedures, and add termination clauses. By addressing each of these key elements, you'll create a robust agreement that protects your business interests while laying the groundwork for a successful supplier relationship. That's it for today's lesson on the essential components of supplier agreements. All right, let's dive into the world of negotiation and learn some effective techniques that can help you win more deals or agreements. Negotiation is an art form where both parties aim for mutual benefit through compromise and understanding. So whether you're buying a car or discussing terms with a client, here are some key strategies to keep in mind. First up, preparation is key. Do your research thoroughly before entering any negotiation. Know the nitty-gritty details about what you want, why you need it, and how much you're willing to pay. Gather information on the other party's needs too. This will help you understand their perspective better and find common ground. Next, start with a high-ticket offer if appropriate. This sets the stage for negotiation, but remember not to go overboard. A realistic starting point leaves room for compromise while still aiming for your desired outcome. Another important technique is active listening. Pay close attention to what the other party says. Look for clues about their priorities and preferences so you can address them directly in your responses. This shows respect and helps build a positive rapport. Also, learn to read body language. Nonverbal cues can give away important information during negotiations. For example, if someone leans forward, they might be interested or engaged with what you're saying. Another useful skill is asking questions. Open-ended questions are particularly helpful as they encourage the other party to share more details about their needs and desires. This keeps the conversation flowing smoothly and helps uncover hidden opportunities for compromise. Negotiating effectively also means being willing to make concessions where appropriate. Showing flexibility can lead to a quicker resolution that satisfies both parties. Remember, though, every concession should bring you closer to your goals, not further away. Lastly, never forget about the importance of follow-up after negotiations conclude. Send a thank you note or email summarizing what was agreed upon and any next steps. This solidifies the deal and maintains good relations for future dealings. In conclusion, effective negotiation requires preparation, active listening, understanding body language, asking questions, being willing to make concessions, and following up afterwards. By applying these techniques, you can become a more skilled negotiator capable of achieving better outcomes in your business and personal interactions. All right, let's dive into today's lesson on identifying potential risks in the supply chain. So, you know how every product we buy ends up on our doorstep? Well, there are lots of steps involved before that happens. Things can go wrong at any stage you think about it, like a relay race where each team member has to pass the baton smoothly to the next one. First off, let's talk about sourcing materials. If your supplier suddenly goes out of business or their quality drops, you could end up with big problems. It's like relying on one person for everything and hoping they're always reliable. So diversifying suppliers is a smart move. Next, there are transportation risks. Weather can cause delays or damage goods. Just imagine shipping fragile items in bad weather. It's risky. You also have to consider things like strikes or road closures that could hold up deliveries. It's all about having backup plans for when the unexpected happens. Then comes storage. Warehouses can be tricky too. If you don't have enough space or proper conditions, your inventory might get damaged, which is a nightmare if they're high-ticket items. So always make sure there's room and everything stays safe until it ships out. Finally, there's the issue of compliance and regulatory changes. Laws change all the time, and not keeping up could lead to fines or even recalls. It's important to stay on top of that stuff and adjust your processes accordingly. So basically, identifying potential risks in the supply chain means thinking ahead about everything from sourcing materials to getting them safely delivered to customers. By planning for these possible issues, you can prevent big headaches down the road. Remember, it's all about being proactive and having a plan B because in business, things rarely go exactly as planned. All right, let's dive into developing contingency plans for risk events. When it comes to managing risks in any project or business venture, having a well-thought-out contingency plan is crucial. It's all about being prepared when unexpected things happen. So how do we go about creating these plans? Well, first off, you need to identify potential risks. Think of them as those pesky little surprises that could pop up and derail your project. Once you've got a list of possible risks, it's time to assess the likelihood and impact of each one. For example, if there's a high-ticket item in your project that might fail, consider how big an effect that would have versus something less critical. This helps prioritize which risks need more attention. Next up is developing specific responses for these risks. It could be as simple as having backup suppliers ready to go or as complex as setting up emergency procedures. The key here is making sure your team knows what to do and when, so they're not scrambling at the last minute. After you've got your response plans laid out, it's time to communicate them clearly across all relevant parties. This includes everyone from stakeholders to contractors. Make sure everyone understands their role in case a risk event occurs. It's like having all the pieces ready for a big puzzle. They need to fit perfectly when needed. Lastly, don't forget about reviewing and updating these plans regularly. As projects evolve or as new risks emerge, your contingency plans should adapt too. This ongoing review ensures you're always prepared for whatever comes next. In summary, developing robust contingency plans involves identifying potential risks, assessing their impact, creating detailed response strategies, communicating those plans effectively, and maintaining them through regular reviews. By following these steps, you can better prepare for risk events and keep your project or business on track despite any surprises that might come its way. That's it for today's lesson on contingency planning. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks to help manage risks in your projects. All right, let's dive into today's lesson on supplier relationship management systems, or SRM for short. Imagine you're managing a large network of suppliers and vendors, all contributing to your business success. It can get pretty hectic, right? Well, that's where an SRM system comes in handy. These systems are designed to streamline supplier relationships, making it easier to manage everything from procurement to quality control. Now, let's break this down into some key points. First off, SRMs help you centralize all your supplier data in one place. This means no more digging through spreadsheets or emails to find that crucial piece of information about a supplier. With an SRM system, you can see everything at a glance, from their contact details and payment history to performance metrics. Next up is procurement management. An SRM system allows you to manage the entire purchasing process, including requisitions, purchase orders, and invoices. You can set up workflows that automatically route documents for approvals or generate purchase orders based on predefined rules. This not only saves time, but also reduces errors in the procurement process. Another important aspect of SRMs is contract management. Managing supplier contracts can be a complex task, especially when you have multiple agreements with different terms and conditions. An SRM system helps here by centralizing all your contracts into one database. You can track expiration dates, renewal options, and even generate alerts for upcoming deadlines or renegotiations. Quality control is another critical function that an SRM supports. By integrating quality management tools within the SRM platform, you can monitor supplier performance against agreed-upon standards. This includes everything from product inspections to compliance audits. With real-time data at your fingertips, you can quickly identify any issues and take corrective action before they impact your business. Lastly, let's talk about collaboration. An SRM system provides a collaborative workspace where stakeholders from procurement, finance, legal, and other departments can work together seamlessly. This ensures that everyone is on the same page when it comes to supplier relationships and procurement activities. So there you have it. Utilizing an SRM system streamlines your supplier management process, saving you time and reducing errors while improving overall business performance. Today, we're diving into Chapter 6.2, where we'll explore how digital tools can revolutionize our approach to data analysis and decision-making. Imagine being able to turn vast amounts of raw data into actionable insights with just a few clicks. Sounds pretty exciting, right? That's exactly what this chapter is about. Let's start by understanding why digital tools are so crucial in today's data-driven world. With information growing at an exponential rate, manually sifting through it all would be nearly impossible without the help of these powerful tools. They can handle large datasets efficiently and provide us with visualizations that make sense of complex relationships between variables. Now, let's take a look at some common digital tools used for this purpose. Excel is perhaps one of the most familiar ones, offering robust features like pivot tables and charts to simplify data analysis. But we're not limited to just spreadsheets. There are more advanced platforms out there too. For example, Tableau allows us to create interactive dashboards that can be shared across teams, giving everyone a clear picture of what's happening. Another key tool is SQL, which lets us query databases directly for specific information, really handy when you need precise data from large repositories. Then, we have programming languages like Python and R that provide extensive libraries for statistical analysis and machine learning models. These tools not only process the numbers, but also help in building predictive models, enabling proactive decision-making. When implementing these digital tools, it's important to consider your specific needs, whether you're dealing with high-ticket sales data or analyzing nitty-gritty details of customer behavior. Tailoring your approach based on this will ensure that you get the most out of your analysis. Also remember, it's not just about having access to these tools, but also knowing how to use them effectively. This might mean investing in training sessions for your team or partnering with experts who can guide you through best practices and emerging trends in data analytics. Finally, once you have your digital tools set up, focus on integrating them seamlessly into your existing workflows. The goal is to make data analysis an integral part of decision-making without adding unnecessary complexity or time to the process. To conclude, leveraging digital tools for data analysis can transform how we understand and act upon information in our organizations. By choosing the right tools and implementing them thoughtfully, you'll be well on your way to making more informed decisions based on solid evidence rather than guesswork. So next time you're faced with a pile of data ready to be analyzed, remember these tips. They just might change how you view digital tools for decision-making. Thank you all for joining me on this journey through effective sourcing strategies for supply chains. Over these past weeks, we've explored various methods used to ensure product quality and supplier reliability within supply chain operations. We began by understanding the basics of sourcing and recognizing the importance of strong supplier relationships. From there, we delved into strategic procurement processes, learning how to identify needs and develop solid procurement plans. Next, we covered supplier evaluation and selection criteria, diving deep into qualitative assessment methods as well as quantitative metrics for measuring performance. Then came the critical aspect of contract management in sourcing operations, where we examined key elements of supplier agreements and effective negotiation techniques. We also spent time discussing risk management and mitigation strategies, highlighting how to identify potential risks within the supply chain and develop contingency plans. Finally, we turned our attention to leveraging technology for sourcing optimization, exploring how supplier relationship management systems, SRM, can enhance your operations and implementing digital tools for data analysis and decision-making. These are powerful takeaways that will undoubtedly help you streamline your sourcing processes and build robust supplier relationships. Remember, the most important lesson is to continually assess and refine your sourcing strategies based on evolving market conditions and technological advancements. By applying these principles in real-world scenarios, you can improve efficiency, reduce costs, and ensure reliable supply chain performance. I wish each of you success as you go forward and implement what you've learned in this course. Whether it's improving procurement processes or strengthening supplier relationships, your efforts will undoubtedly contribute to the overall success of your organization's supply chain operations. If you'd like to stay connected with me or leave a review about your experience in the course, please feel free to reach out through the platform. Your feedback is invaluable and helps us improve future courses for other learners. Thank you once again for being part of this learning journey.